It feels like progress. We've obviously had over 150,000 signatures now. This is such a widespread issue. And I feel somewhat responsible to really try to drive this over the line. And I think somewhat naively, when we kind of embarked on this petition, I thought, bearing in mind I have very little political experience, that this would be something that we would get a lot of signatures for and someone would go, yes, OK, we'll make that happen. I'm realising that these things take so much time. So when we first reached 10,000 signatures, we did receive a response from Parliament, and they said that they had no plans to appoint a maternity commissioner, which felt like such a roadblock and really disappointing. It kind of came around the same time that Baroness Amos's report had been announced, and I know that she's working on this maternity review as well that's going to be published around spring.
So they were almost saying we won't consider this until we've had the official national report returned.
Yeah.
Again, wasted time, right?
Yeah, exactly, because actually this review is just highlighting the things that many, many inquiries have already highlighted before, and so many recommendations have been set out. I think there's 740 plus, and very few of them have actually been implemented.
Wes Streeting, what he always says is that he is listening, he is open to hearing stories and real-life experiences about, you know, the measures he's putting in place that will help people. So what is it you'll say to him?
I mean, I will obviously put forward the suggestion of a maternity commissioner because that's what we're here for and that's what we're campaigning for, because we think that, well, my understanding is that decisions are either made by him, the Treasury, then we have NHS England, we have ICBs, we have lots of different bodies that make different decisions, whether it's the CQC, this new task force.
You can see why it runs so slowly, right?
You can see why it runs so slowly. And so really putting together the case for why a maternity commissioner would connect the kind of fragmented care that we have at the moment.
Would help.
I'd ask about funding, because I think I was reading something yesterday where the ring-fenced funding for maternity care had dropped substantially in 2025. I know that Rachel Reeves increased the budget for the NHS last year, but I'd like to know exactly what portion of that is being allocated to maternity care. To be honest, out of the 200 billion that is spent on the NHS annually, I think that women really deserve to know exactly where that has been spent, and also why we have a 2,500 shortage of midwives when lots of midwives are reaching out to me saying that they can't get jobs. And I know that over 75% of all of that annual spending is spent on staff, but yet people are not being paid fairly. So I'd like to know how they plan on fixing that problem.
I mean, and they're really key questions.
I mean, they're really big questions.
Well, that's the thing. I know you've said before, you know, I don't really know about politics. And I hear that so much from people who find themselves campaigning because of their personal experiences. But I always say, politics is the everyday. It's about your everyday experience and what you can do to change it, to make it better for your family, your small part of the world, the wider public, other people that are with you with the various problems you face. And I wonder how you feel sitting here now as somebody who has started a debate in Parliament today about something so personal to you and your family and to the, you know, hundreds of women that have got in touch with you. I wonder if, you know, in your darkest moment, you thought that you'd end up here doing this?
Honestly, I never imagined that I would be here. I didn't think that I would ever survive. I didn't. I'm not alone in saying that. I've spoken to mothers who are much earlier on in their recovery journeys. I did not think I would make it past that first year, let alone the second year, and then continue to improve and get better. I really struggle. I really struggle when it comes to doing this sort of thing, but I know that I have to do it for the sake of the women that are giving birth right now. I have women that stop me every single day in the street to talk about their experience.
And how does that make you feel? Because let's face it, you're not over your own issues associated with this. PTSD is something that you will live with for your life, the mental and physical scars. So how does that sit on your shoulders, Louise? Because that's quite a lot to take on.
It is a lot, and for the most part, I'm really strong and I'm doing really well, and I'm very, very grateful that me and my son are both here. I was gardening with him all day yesterday, and I was looking at him, and I did genuinely have a moment where I thought, like, this could have not been me. And like that is an unthinkable scenario, but it is a real scenario for people. You know, only this morning I was working with somebody else who is an amazing woman who's a birth trauma sufferer who had a horrendous 4th-degree tear, 300 stitches, and the amount of suffering that she has gone through with her, you know, her son being born dead and then resuscitated and then dealing with complicated challenges, going through a divorce, you know, it really rips through an entire family unit. And the knock-on effects to that, I mean, even from like the economical standpoint of not being able to work for a considerable period of time, I'm not earning anything. I'm not paying taxes. I'm completely reliant on the system then to pay for myself to get better, whether it's subsequent surgeries, it's mental health aftercare. I mean, I had to rely on a crisis team to come to my house every single day for a month to hold my hand, to tell me that having a feeling that felt like I had fire in my brain as someone that had always been high functioning up until that moment, that was normal, and that other people who had severe PTSD or depression felt like that and I would get better. If I hadn't had access to that service, I would have died. This is a real significant issue that I don't think that people that haven't experienced it understand. But we all live thinking that things are never going to happen to us. But unfortunately, this is happening to people. And you can't ignore it anymore.
Women deserve a safe birth.
Women deserve a safe birth. Like, it's our right. We deserve a safe and dignified birth. We deserve to understand what to expect. We deserve to be educated. We deserve to be given choices. If we would like to have a cesarean section, we should be granted that. That is part of the NICE guidelines, and that was not what I had access to. And there are so many other women who also feel like they were uninformed and they didn't get to make the right choices. And then that has inevitably led to you know, ongoing challenges moving forward. And trying to look after a child, a newborn, a baby. Some people have multiple children as well at home that are relying on them. Like, we, you know, as women, we have dependents, and trying to look after others whilst barely functioning ourselves, it's really, like, it's one of the most traumatic things that can happen to anybody in their life.
Well, Louise, you've come... No,
so
Louise,
angry about the whole thing now.
Well, you deserve to be angry, and angry on behalf of other women as well, who I know have reached out to you. And I think, you know, from where you've come from to where you are now, that has got you this far. And I know that you're not done yet. Listen, thank you so much for talking to me. I know that we're going to speak again about this because there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
The maternity commissioner is your focus, but then I know that there will be more goals in the future, because this area, as we've discussed so many times, is such a mess and is really, really damaging to so many people in their lives. Louise, thank you.
Can I just say a huge thank you to you for choosing to talk about this?
Well, it's so important, and it's something here at Sky News that we are really keen to tell women's stories and push this forward, because, as you said, it feels like we're on the brink of change, and you have to get angry and you have to keep pushing for it. So, Louise, let's continue the conversation. I really look forward to that. Thank you.